Hi. So in the earlier part of the video, we looked at this substitute formula. Now I didn't finish up this formula. So in order to finish cleaning, you should take this formula and then you see as we go along, go around here, we get this black arrow, right? So if we just double click here, okay, sometimes the formula doesn't get run down all the way, maybe because there's extra column spacing. So one way to actually force the formula to copy itself down is you can just double click and it will go down. Yeah. Another way is okay, it doesn't work. So what we're going to do is we copy this formula by pressing Control C, and then I'm going to go to this cell. I'm going to press Control down. So it goes to the last entry. Yeah, there's about 48k records here, and then I go to my column and then I press Control Shift up. So I've got this formula, it pushes me all the way up and I'm going to press Ctrl V. So the formula actually gets translated to all the columns here. Yeah, so we can see that there's a substitute formula for all of them. Okay, so then we get our data. Alright, now once you clean this up, how are we going to put the clean data back into this neighborhood? We're going to press Command Shift down to select all the items. Press Command C or Control C, sorry. Control C to copy the data, and then let's go here and then we press Control V. So this actually ends up trying to paste the data over these data sets. Okay, now my computer is lagging. Okay, so I shouldn't have done that. Okay, this means it's a circular reference. Yeah, sorry, we need to copy it somewhere out first. Okay, let me press undo, Control Z. Let me undo the change I made. Because we took this formula from here, and if we take this column and put it back, it becomes a circle. Yeah, so instead of doing that, what I should have done is go to this empty column, press Ctrl V first, and what we do is we uh, we keep the values only. Yeah, you see this option here, you should see when you paste, you see this paste option. Yeah, so instead of keeping everything, we just keep the values only. So what it does is it gets rid of the formula, you see. So right now we just have Brooklyn here, whereas here we have the formula. Yeah, and here we have the value. So we wanted the value. Let's now copy out the value and finally go back here and paste that value and get rid of the errors. Yeah, so our errors are gone, and then finally we can delete this too. Yeah, so that's one way to solve the problems. Now another what we are doing in this part of the video is we are going to do the trim function. Now I'm going to leave the errors here. Okay, so I showed you how to solve the problem. So I'm going to undo my changes. Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of this column. Alright. Okay, so now in this part of the video, we're going to learn how to use the trim function, T-R-I-M. Now, the trim is actually used to remove white spaces. Now, what is a white space? Okay, we can see one classic example here. Now, at times when data is being collected, there might be cases where people type in things on their keyboard. For example, this name description here seems to be a keyboard entry where people type all sorts of things about their house. And there might be chances where people actually end up typing a few spaces at the front and at the back. Yeah, so there might be what we call extra spaces everywhere. Here we have extra space. Yeah, at the start. Here we have an extra space at the start. Here we have extra white spaces at the start. So now white spaces might cause some problems in the future when we try and analyze the data. So that in Excel we have a function which actually helps us to remove these white spaces. So we can get it by pressing the equal sign, and then we type the function called trim. Yeah, now trim is used to remove white spaces, leading and trailing white spaces. Okay, so I want to trim this name column. So let me select this. Let me close the cell and hit enter. So now it trims it for me. The name column didn't actually have white space issues. Now you look at the next column, the next data in this column, the next row, yeah, this cell, cell B3. Now in cell B3, we do have a problem, yeah. There is white spaces. So therefore, how do we can actually copy the formula here and paste it here, and voila, you see that your white space here is actually gone now. So if you were to pull this down a bit more and then we just eyeball, you see, they're all nicely left aligned, yeah, now. So all these white spaces here and here are all gone, yeah. Okay, and if you want to copy the thing down for your entire row, you can double click here. If it doesn't work, you press Control C for Windows users. Go down, Command or Control, you press the down key to jump to the last record. You go to the column of interest here and you press Control Shift up. So this will select all the remaining cells and you press Control V. So it pastes the formula for us. So if you realize the trim is being applied for every single row here, yeah, trim is being applied for every single row. As I scale up, you can see the cell numbers changing, yeah. So this is going to take a long time if I keep typing. If I keep pressing up, so I'm going to press Control up to jump all the way to the top. Yeah, Control up, Control down helps us jump to the top and the bottom of the data, yeah. So these are some useful Excel shortcuts. And this is how the trim function can be used to remove white spaces.